Hey everyone, I'm Marcos and I'm Moxie Boosted, and welcome back to another Pokemon Sword and Shield VGC 2020 video. And today, since I know I've been gone for a while, I'll say that now, I know I've been gone for a while, we've been in Series 3 for a bit, but today is my first time covering Series 3 on the channel. I know I did that Venusaur guide, but it is Series 3 now, so we're going to talk about Series 3 with knowledge of the current metagame. And today I'm going to be covering GMAX Lapras in particular and how you could use it. I don't have too many movesets for it. This Pokemon doesn't have a very diverse way of using it. There are like 2 options. If you guys enjoy this at any point in time, please leave a like and subscribe for more Pokemon content. And on top of that, if you guys want to share the video, it'll help the channel grow, and I just appreciate that a ton. But yeah, and also comment what you think of GMAX Lapras in the comment section down below. Do you think it's going to be amazing? Do you think it's just going to be okay? Whatever, and let me know what Pokemon you want me to cover in the next moveset video, which try to keep it to Series 3 Pokemon. I don't want to go back and recover my steps on some Series 2 Pokemon like, I don't know, Blossom. No one used Blossom, but we'll say Blossom. But yeah, let's take a look at Lapras in general. Overall, it has some pretty amazing stats, at least defensively and bulk-wise. Not so much offensively, and that's why it wasn't a great Dynamax Pokemon before, but 130 HP, 80 defense, 95 special defense, with 85 attack and 85 special attack and 60 speed. So looking at it, in the early metagame, in Series 1 or Series 2, you would honestly look at this thing and say, wow, what an amazing HP stat. If you double that thing, it could be a pretty good offensive Pokemon Dynamaxed, but that's purely just because it could take a hit. If you look at all the other Pokemon you could Dynamax with good HP stats like Excadrill or Tyranitar, you quickly saw that maybe don't Dynamax the Lapras. Maybe that's not your best option. While it was still a good Pokemon for checking things like Dracovish or being able to throw off Freeze Dries to beat Gastrodon, it didn't really have any reason to go offensive. However, with this new form, the new Gigantamax form, it has access to the move GMAX Resonance, which is essentially just taking its Ice-type move, and instead of turning it into Max Hailstorm and setting up the Hail, it's actually just going to use its Ice-type move and automatically set up Aurora Veil, which, if you don't know, is just the combination of Reflect and Light Screen into a single screen. And that is one of the best things to have in your side of the field. Granted, it can be stolen by court change, but that hasn't been popularized yet, so we're pretty good. We're pretty much good to go. So, GMAX Lapras. Why is this insane for the metagame? It has an amazing HP stat. It has great defenses. You double that, and you set up Aurora Veil, and nothing is going to be able to one-shot this thing. Unless you get like a crit Stone Edge with +2 Tyranitar or something like that. Not much is going to be able to break through this, and we're honestly going to see a big influx of Brick Break users come into the metagame. We might see like Brick Break Hitmontop or Brick Break Incineroar or something like that to help combat this Pokemon. But I feel like, regardless of the fact, that just means that this Pokemon is all the more viable. So let's go ahead and get into the movesets that I have for this Pokemon today. I don't have too many. I only have 2 movesets today, but I'll try to go in depth with them as to why I think they could work. And I only have 2 movesets because there aren't really that many ways to run this Pokemon. I just have a couple of EV spreads that I think are pretty viable. So the first moveset I have for you guys today is actually a weakness policy set, which, while I did say that this Pokemon lacks in offensive presence, if you slap a weakness policy on it, you might as well. Like, it's not gonna be doing much damage otherwise. So with the weakness policy, you manage to get to +2, you're gonna be doing some amazing damage. This set runs a weakness policy with the ability Water Absorb. The moveset Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Protect, Blizzard with 252 HP, 156 defense, 60 special attack with a modest nature, 4 special defense, and 36 speed. Now you might be confused about the speed, and I'll get into that in a second, but first let's talk about what it does defensively. This Lapras, once you're Dynamaxed, is able to guaranteed live a neutral, not like after weakness policy, but just a regular jolly Tyranitar's max Rockfall, which is actually pretty important. Not many Tyranitar are running 0 speed, and while we do have a bit of speed investment on this Lapras, that is for a different Pokemon, and most Tyranitar will run much more speed in this thing, meaning that they will get a free attack off, and we will have to retaliate with a Max Geyser at +2, which won't KO if they're Dynamaxed, but that doesn't really matter. This Pokemon is mostly built defensively EV spread-wise and just has the rest dumped into special attack to KO just about everything. But it does KO one thing in particular, which is Dynamaxed Rhyperior with Solid Rock. And that's actually pretty important, because if you can't KO that thing, it's going to be running over your entire team. The special defense is for nothing in particular. However, the speed stat is actually pretty important. I personally have found that one of the best ways to deal with GMAX Lapras is to outspeed it with your Incineroar and just parting shot out immediately, getting it to -1, completely neutering its special attack stat, because like I said, it doesn't have an amazing special attack stat in the first place. So if you can get that to -1 without proccing the weakness policy, then it's not too much of a threat. It's just going to set up the screens and sit there forever. However, this 36 speed investment allows us to outspeed one of the faster Incineroar spreads running around, which is a Incineroar running 84 speed, and not 84 speed EVs, but we hit 85 speed stat-wise, and the Incineroar's running 84 speed stat-wise. So that will allow us to one-shot that thing with Hydro Pump, and that's, or not Hydro Pump, but GMAX, not GMAX, I can't even speak today, Max Geyser, that's the move. And that's pretty important, because you don't want to have that thing running around the field, and likely it will go for a fake out or a U-turn turn 1, and you can just go ahead and get that thing off the field, reduce your opponent's Pokemon, and just take an early lead, which is pretty huge. But yeah, that's the weakness policy Lapras set I have for you guys today. Next up, I want to cover what I think might be a more defensive option, but is very similar to this Pokemon. Like, they're going to be running pretty much the exact same EVs, except for a few specialized calcs that you'll want on particular builds. So this one is the Light Clay set, and we're actually running Shell Armor, and I'll get into that in a second. So the moveset is Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Perish Song, Protect, but you could also run over Perish Song Sheer Cold, which is actually a really cool option. Sheer Cold will allow you to get it to like a Milotic versus Lapras 1v1, and then you have a 30% chance to hit it each turn. You might as well just start throwing those off, considering how bulky you are behind your screen. It's not like they'll be able to beat you, and this also makes it so your opponent doesn't have as much of an opportunity to play the timer when it comes to clicking Recover, getting their Wiki Berry, and just sitting on the field. So that is a fun option for Lapras. However, Perish Song has found more popularity in the format, given how good at this Pokemon pairs with Gothitelle. They can't switch out. You get a Perish Song off, and they're just stuck there with you. You can switch out, you'll be perfectly good to go. And because Lapras is so bulky, it doesn't really mind taking any hits. It can sit on the field, it can protect if it wants. This Pokemon will be running 252 HP, 76 defense with a bold nature, 44 special attack, 132 special defense, and 4 speed. The 4 speed is just left over from the other calcs, but the defensive investment once again allows us to take Tyranitar's max Rockfall, but the reason we're bold this time is because we needed more special defense investment to ensure that we actually get 3-shot by Dynamaxed Venusaur's max Overgrowth coming off a Leaf Storm, which is actually picking up in usage considering how Adrenaline or Venusaur has seen a decent amount of usage. But yeah, the special attack is completely dumped because we didn't really need much more in the defenses, and the speed is just left over. So I guess at the very least, the 4 speed will allow you to outspeed slower GMAX Lapras or 0 speed investment Incineroar, which is still important, I guess. And coming back to the ability, the reason we're running Shell Armor is because if you didn't know, critical hits will bypass your screens. And one of the most notorious critical hit users in the format is Scopeland's Togekiss. So by running Shell Armor, it makes it so this Lapras is completely immune to critical hits. It just makes it so crits do not happen versus this Pokemon. And that is pretty great for this Pokemon, considering that you're behind the screens. You don't want to ignore those when you're taking damage, and it just benefits so much from this ability. I honestly didn't think I'd see a Pokemon that benefits so much from the ability Shell Armor. I thought they were completely screwing over Mega Slowbro by giving it Shell Armor. I mean, it's just strange seeing Lapras run it so effectively. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about these movesets in the comment section down below. I really appreciate all your support. Let me know what movesets you guys are running. Comment the movesets that you are using in the comment section down below. Share it with the community. Join the Discord. Check out my Twitch. Check out my Patreon to get some exclusive content, including some live streams and some team building help. But yeah, with that, I'm going to call it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice night. Bye.